Thank God it's Friday. I'm so excited. It's the beginning of another weekend. Welcome to the show. I am Tokwe Mark Odige. And as usual, I have the ladies with me, full house, except for Mariah. So it's not full house.
Excellent morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
What are we doing this weekend?
Okay, what are we doing this weekend? I'm supposed to have, I have this friend who is a life coach and an author as well. And we are cooking up a program which will be happening in July. It's tagged, you know, the irresistible queens, finding out why and how you can be irresistible. The power to be irresistible, the power to be able to gather influence, you know. And it's just an event for women. It's going to be online. But we decided to do a live Instagram video tomorrow evening, 9 p.m. So we could take questions on marriage. She is single, I am married. That combination, cool. So she can handle that aspect. I can
and
handle
then you deal with the married ones.
Because we found out that a lot of women do not know the power that they have, you know, so we want to help people to go out there and just be all that you can be.
Women are powerful.
Women are powerful.
There are people
really
that will just
powerful.
look at you.
Yeah, you know.
And then you just submit your account. And you just, why are you looking like that?
Yeah, so please, let me finish.
Sexual.
No. It's not about
but
beauty. It's not about sexuality. No, it's not about that. But it's going to be on my page 9 p.m. So people should go to my Instagram page, BC Ugbo, and just have fun with us.
That's good. Mariam, you're blinging. What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm excited as well. So I decided to do something I haven't done ever, which is. July is my birthday.
Yeah.
That's the next one. I'm not the sort that goes, oh, July is my birthday, oh, first, second, and count till the date.
But you want to.
But yeah, so this time around, I thought, okay, why not pick up like 10 women who have, because I get people asking me all the time about weight loss and nutrition and dieting. So I said, okay, take 10 women and just do like a birthday stuff for them. But I got hundreds of women that sent me messages.
You have to select.
So I need to, no, I'm not selecting. I'm going
and
to
you
have
didn't do flyer. It was a text, so they had to have read it.
So these women, I'm going to have everybody on.
The group.
But then I'll pick the first 10, and have the special arrangement with them, and then we'll continue.
So
everybody on
the weight loss
with the 100.
So they're supposed to walk into being healthy.
Yeah. So we're going to do a 1 month weight loss. We're going to learn how to eat right. We're going to learn how to eat better.
So they'll be weighing themselves.
Affordable, accessible ingredients. You
That's
know.
good.
So that it's just easy for Nigerian women. We're too busy doing so many things. You don't want to be.
Don't start telling me avocado oil.
Yeah, exactly.
Cucumber water.
Expensive.
So I just want you to be able to go to the regular market that you go to and still buy the regular ingredients that you buy, but know how to eat.
Conclude the experiment, and then I'll want to be an experiment.
No. Not yet.
So please, if you want to add weight, are we invited?
No, I guess you can talk to Nima about that. Can talk to Nima about that.
Nima and Amala.
I wanted to shout out to Omelikpo for the 5-liter oil I got. I've been enjoying this oil without giving her any feedback. Very high quality palm oil. And I know palm oil when I see one. I'll be a bendege with the do oil. So that kind of do oil. But yesterday, I got a restoration of faith in human. I sometimes do pro bono work for people who can actually afford it. And sometimes I do jobs for people in my firm for without them, you know, advancing any amount of money, using my own personal resources, and they walk away with my money. Some people abroad just think that she can't catch me, I'm abroad. So there's this person I had needed to work with, and I just didn't have the faith in him. Because he truly didn't have the money. He kept saying, I can't afford you now, but as soon as I do this, I can afford you. I didn't believe it until I got my pay yesterday. And I felt really bad. Because he kept rolling my mind, I'm just doing this thing. This man won't pay me. Just on Monday, we still had that debate, myself and my partner, that if that man doesn't pay you, you are doing this like the 5th time now. Are we going to run this partnership on debt? So finally, someone restored my faith.
You see, people are not. I know that it's easy when you've been disappointed many times to assume that everybody has something funny. And I say that it takes a high level of awareness to be disappointed, to be heartbroken, and still approach everything in life with enthusiasm. So you know that I've been beaten, but I wake up in the next day and I'm like, today is the day. And then it doesn't work, and I wake up tomorrow, today is the day.
I'm grateful.
We need to be in that space, because there are actually good people and there are opportunities around. But today...
Congratulations, babe.
What are you doing?
Oh, yes. I am attending... Oh, yeah. I'm attending Ni Adesoya Leadership Academy Boot Camp. It's at the hotel. It'll be today and tomorrow. I rolled, when I say I crawled my way in, like crawled my way in.
You just have to be there.
Uncle, let me sweep the floor. Let me mop the floor. Is there anything I can do for you? Are you sure you don't need me to come and help you write the list? Because I couldn't afford the money. So after she now come and say, I talk back, come. I will find work for you. I said, don't worry, I'll do anything. Let me just be there, you know.
It's good to push.
So I'm looking forward to that. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll be taking the top stories in the newspaper. Stay with us, we'll be right back. We'll be starting the papers today with The Nation. We haven't seen The Nation in a while. So we're starting off with the major headline in The Nation. Governors endorse state police to fight criminals. Push for new law begins. El Rufai differs. Sage urges caution. And you can't miss the picture story where you have houseboy kills employer, mother who is 89. That was very heartbreaking story. In other news, DSS parade fake doctor for killing 15 patients. Writer and activist Omolara Ogundipe dies at 78. So let's just go straight to the...
Do the major headline first before the...
Human interest.
Okay, that's fine.
It's really sad. Human interest.
Are you
story.
going?
You don't want to tell us about the husband?
So,
No, I was going to tell you about the DSS. That
okay, so
paraded the fake
yes, fake doctor.
Yes, so there's a man named Ibrahim Mustafa, and he's been paraded by the Department of State Services for practicing as a doctor in Adamawa State. He had even been employed by the Adamawa State's medical board as a doctor, but they found out that he only has like a secondary school leaving certificate and has worked as an assistant, a medical assistant, over the years, like for 5 years. But then he came to Adamawa State and started practicing as a doctor. The governor is on the matter as well and also accused this doctor of killing about 15 people in the course of 5 years that he's been practicing as a doctor without certificate.
Without any knowledge, not even certificate.
And then he was able to do this with the collaboration of a medical doctor who gave him his NECO papers and all his certificates. So he was able to use that.
So are they also going to be prosecuting?
So they are both, yes, have both
good.
been arrested.
That's really good. Major headline.
Yes, let's do the
Human interest.
Yes, so this guy, Joseph Ogbu, was who allegedly stabbed his employer just 2 days after he resumed work. He had an argument. According to the story, he was asked to mop the floors by 9 p.m. and so he got into an argument with his employer and stabbed the lady. And the mother, an 89-year-old woman who saw what happened, slumped and died. So he quickly packed his things,
and packed
all the things, other properties, the phones, electronics, put it in the boot of their car and the employer's car was driving out when he was apprehended by the police.
So in addition to
I'm glad that I'm glad that he has been caught and he confessed to the crime. But I'm asking, if you are really not ready to work, why do you get into employment?
This is a
why are you having an argument to do what?
Don't even analyze it.
But I'm
Number
happy
one, did
that
somebody do his psychoanalysis to see whether he had issues?
Exactly.
Number two, the
let's take the major headline. Let's take major headline. So governors endorse state police to fight criminals, and there are differing opinions concerning this. So I don't think all the governors approved this.
All the governors did not approve. El Rufai is strongly against it, saying that we're not matured enough to have state policing, and we still have issues of funding. We still have our religious issues on ground, ethnicity, and all of that.
It's not the same.
But the governors, most of the governors are in agreement, and they're happy. They've sent a letter. There's a committee right now who is looking into it by the president.
I think every governor should actually have their own internal style of implementing state policing, and it should be done personally. It can't be done as a group, because the way Lagos would do it is the way Ogun might need to do it. Moving on to the Punch, major headline: NECA, Nasima, LCCI fumes as Buhari tells governors to raise IJR VAT. And in other news, Boko Haram releases abducted female corps member 5 months after. I just needed a child to call me a mother. That's from a baby thief. ASU opposes Nigerians' prof sacking and detention in Ghana. PDP set up a panel to investigate members over National Assembly election. Will kick killer herdsmen out of Southwest. That's from the Oni of Lagos. Keeping your children out of school is a crime, Buhari tells parents. So All the stories are in the Punch, but we'll start with one.
Okay, so the Borno State government on Thursday received a corps member, her name Halima Umar. She had been abducted since January, and she was released to the Borno State government. This happened as a result of like a collaborative issue with this effort with the state and a non-governmental organization called Caltham Foundation for Peace. So this is something that the government is trying to work with the insurgents to sort of open a line of communications with them and see how they can release like non-combative insurgents that have been arrested for our Nigerians that have been abducted.
I'm very, very impressed with this. I think that we didn't have this kind of people that can mediate, and we must have negotiations. I know people will tell you that, oh, we don't negotiate with terrorists, but that's because your family member has not been kidnapped.
I'm telling you.
If your person has been kidnapped, you need to listen to them and find a way to find a middle ground, listen to them, and maybe not give them everything they want, but be able to get your people back. Other stories.
The president.
ASU, she wants to take the ASU story.
Okay, so the ASU is calling on the Ghanaian government to release one of their lecturers, Austin Wabara, who was on sabbatical in the University of Education, Winneba, Ghana. They arrested him after sacking him for making some defamatory and seditious comments about the Ghana people in a video that went viral in Ghana. And he was saying that, you see, talking about how the Ghanaian people maltreat or disrespect Nigerians after all Nigeria has done for them in their economy and all that. And the Ghanaians have...
He also called for the Nigerian media to investigate every action carried by Ghanaians against Nigerians in Ghana and publicize it, saying that Ghanaians are hurting Nigerians and Nigerians should investigate and bring it out. So when they heard this, they sacked him, and then he's been detained.
The Ghanaian majority leader, Mensa Bonsu, is saying that this decision, backing the decision, saying that he made certain comments that were unfounded. So we should also understand that this is a sovereign country. If you must make such statements, you have to have them founded. If you had even invested in informing a journalist to carry out secret investigations before going out to make such statements, I think would have been better, but we need to be careful how we start to protest.
So the presidency is asking people to raise their IGR.
Yes, he spoke with the 36 governors in the country, telling them to raise their internally generated revenue and their value-added tax so that we'll be able to have enough money to handle the insecurity issues and build infrastructure. But there's this agency, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce are saying that he should find, instead of just asking them to increase the VAT, he should find a balance between that and job creation, and also he should look into taxing politicians and very rich people in the society.
Fantastic
not just
ideas.
To do it across board.
Moving on to Vanguard, major headline, insecurity. We need Fulani vigilantes in Southeast. Mieti Anla says, Ohaneze will resist Fulani vigilantes in Igbo land, that's from Nwodo. We're not against cattle rearing, but they have more to say concerning that. In other news, enforce free basic education, Buhari tells governors. And Oshodi Apapa Expressway gridlock worsens as task team extends repair work on bad road. So I know Nima wants to take the story.
Let me quickly take that one. So the Kayodokwefa, speaking again on behalf of the task team, mentioned that they have started carrying out works on they've shut down from the Maitu end to Coconut on the Apapa Oshodi Expressway while they're carrying out works on it. And this explains the traffic that has been there since throughout Thursday and today. So basically,
all right. So okay, Mieti Ala and basic education. Education.
Yes, I do. So the president yesterday at the inaugural meeting of the National Economic Council for 2019-2023 has urged or charged governors to make sure that they enforce the basic education in their domains. He said that it's important that we're able to enforce, the part of the Constitution that talks about free basic education from primary school level to junior secondary.
That was also
school
where
level.
he mentioned
So
that if your child is not in school.
So yes, so I wanted to just take this quote. It says, apart from doing that schools, the government should make sure that they enforce this. Parents also should know that it's a crime to keep their children at home if, you know, and he says it is indeed a crime for any parent to keep his child out of school for this period. In my view, when the government fails to provide the schools, teachers and teaching materials necessary for basic education, it is actually aiding and abetting that crime. So I'm happy that we're having this conversation. We understand,
so I'm expecting
our
that
responsibilities.
Fantastic. The Mietiala story we can't take. People should read that in the papers. It's very interesting. Next, we'll have a guest appearance from South African tourism team. Stay with us to be back. Right back. How is it terrorism?
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We have Mr. Tekiso, TK. He's the regional manager in charge of South African tourism. And we have Ifetobo Awana, who is the MD of Avant-Garde Tours, West Africa. They're both with us today to educate us about how to get involved with traveling to South Africa. You're going to clear all that for us. We have lots of questions for you, but I'll be starting off with you, TK. I'm sorry I couldn't pronounce that. I'm really sorry. But please pronounce your name so that I can pronounce it. No.
Good morning and thanks for having us this morning. The name is Tekiso.
Tekiso. It was the second one. I did the Tekiso. It's beautiful, but the other one, I couldn't get it. I'm really sorry. However, from what we see online, there are many pictures about South Africa, what it looks like, being friendly and welcoming. And we want to ask that, what is the difference, what contemporary difference do you have to offer in terms of South Africa offering to Nigerians right now that would interest us? Instead of going to any other country, we should come and visit South Africa.
I think first and foremost, Nigerians are now planning to go for their summer holidays. And we have a perfect part of South Africa that we encourage Nigerians to visit. It's the northern part of South Africa. It's called Durban, within the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Whilst it's winter in South Africa, Durban is as warm as Lagos. So it's very warm and it's a coastal town. So there's a lot of water activities, a lot of adventure. You might have heard about the Ushaga Marine, which is a family water-based experiences. Matter of fact, we have quite a lot of those packages that we currently have on our site that Nigerian families can buy and go and visit Durban for summer. But I'll let my colleague here share the details around that.
The packages.
So I could definitely say...
What's the mandate of South Africa towards Nigeria? What's the tourism mandate for South Africa, for Nigeria?
Well, the reason why I've been tasked to come to Nigeria, as I mentioned earlier on, I'm now based here in Lagos. For the next 5 years, I will be a Lagosian.
Yeah, you did that right.
So my mandate really is to stimulate travel for Nigerians to South Africa. I have a mandate of encouraging Nigerians like yourselves to come visit my country and have a holiday, a wonderful holiday experience.
An average Nigerian thinks about cost. So as I'm looking at you, I'm just thinking, how expensive is it compared to having compared to other destination areas, countries like Dubai, the regular, and maybe
that might be you.
Well, I think you're right. He's the man with the packages.
So he's the man with the packages.
Yeah.
Okay.
So cost-wise, very, very sincerely, South Africa is one of the best value destinations. And yes, as a tour operator, I prefer to use the word value. So sometimes is what you're getting. So for every naira you're paying, for every dollar you're paying, what are you getting when you visit South Africa as against when you visit Dubai or Kenya or any other destination, So you will get the very, very best deals. For example, for summer, we're doing 3-night packages for 125,000 naira per person sharing to Durban.
Okay.
3 nights, and that's not just hotels, but you're doing hotel transfers and then tours, and it's a wonderful destination with the kind of attractions that you get anywhere else, and lots of shopping.
So, talking about adventure, because I remembered when I was in Mauritius, I met some people, I made friends with them, some white people, and they mentioned, we've been to, where are you from, Nigeria? We've been to South Africa. We've not been to Nigeria, but we've been to South Africa. We've been to, anytime you hear them talk about Africa, they've been to South Africa. We loved the people. We loved the places. What was it that you guys did to attract so many foreign nationals coming to your country for fun?
I think the one thing that has really put us on the map when it comes to tourism is firstly the history of South Africa, with the background that we have as a country. And I think most importantly, we've managed, the World Cup was very good to us as a country. And I think it exposed a lot of our country to the world. And we've really leveraged that over the years. So when it comes specifically to us as a premium destination for leisure, we leverage of that. But one of the things that in this particular market that I would like to focus on is we know that Nigerians like lifestyle events. It's something that stimulates travel. As an example, in about 2 weeks, there's a big lifestyle event happening in Durban. It's called the Vodacom Durban July. It's a horse racing event similar to what, the polo event that happened here in Nigeria. So we have one in Durban where the entire country converges into Durban.
It's really beautiful and colorful.
So we will be taking a few of our Nigerian, like normally how we do our influencers. I can't mention them now. But watch out for the space early next week.
So one of your influencers that we all love, Bolanle, we know her, she's popular quite here. But I wanted to say, for most Nigerians traveling to South Africa for the first time, how safe is it for them?
Well, I'm glad you actually raised the issue of safety. Safety is very important to us. Matter of fact, last night in our State of the Nation address delivered by our president, he specifically talked about safety of tourists when they visit our country. We do know that there's incidences that have happened in the past. It's something that we cannot sweep under the rug. Therefore, the Tourism Safety Initiative, which is something that's driven by both the government and the tourism sector, is a concerted effort around making sure that tourists are safe when they visit South Africa. And we do, in our communication, encourage people, like any other country that you visit, just be aware of your surroundings, where you're going, and obviously just being cognitive of, the surroundings of where you're going.
So, Mr. Tekiso. So, Mr. Tekiso, I realize that people wonder and question, is this more of an adventure-based trip, or is it a relax and chill kind of trip?
Well, it's a trip, you can make it anything that you want. I think that is the beauty of South Africa, in the sense that you can pick and piece whichever you want.
I see some that are hanging, I see the jumping, I see all of that. Like, so what are the attractions? What are the fun things that can be done?
So, first and foremost, our nightlife is one of, I think we are possibly second to Lagos, because I don't think anybody beats Lagos when it comes to nightlife.
Thank you for admitting.
I'll admit that, but we do have a very vibrant nightlife. So if you're into that, we've got lots of that happening. If you're looking at for active adventure, we've got, for example, in Durban, we've got the big, beautiful World Cup stadium, the Moses Mabhida Stadium. People do bungee jumping off the stadium.
Wow.
If you could also do wildlife further north of KwaZulu-Natal, you can see the Big Five. You can have a cultural or historical experience where you visit the Mandela capture site, which is where our late president, Mr. Nelson Mandela, was captured. A lot of people, particularly Nigerians, when they visit KwaZulu-Natal, they do like going. You've seen those images where people are taking pictures in front of the big image of. So quite a diversity.
I'd like to ask your partner, Mr. Efetobo. South Africa is a visa-required country for Nigerians. Do you have an arrangement where we can do visa on arrival for people on your package, or you still have to go sort yourself?
Well, we assist with the visa process, and that's one thing we're very thankful to South African tourism. The assistance to trade partners like us is very, very wonderful. So what we do is, once we have people who have taken our packages, we then help them through the process of acquiring the visas. And in fact, everyone traveling for summer is practically guaranteed their visas.
The typical Nigerian woman or man who's traveling is a business person. We're entrepreneurial, and even if we're going on vacation, we like to find places where we can shop for our relatives and even to sell mostly. We need to make money. We like to hustle here. So what are the business opportunities that you have in South Africa for people who are coming in?
South Africa has the best shopping experience you can get. And trust me,
brand.
I'm a travel consultant, so I know all of these destinations. And we've had clients who have actually compared stuff they've gotten from South Africa to some other destinations. Let me not mention those destinations. But the truth is, yes, like I said, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, what you get, some of the biggest and best malls you find in South Africa, wherever you're going, whether it is Durban, it's Joburg, it's Cape Town, you have very, very lovely malls. Even close to the airport, in fact, you can practically miss your flights if you're not careful because of shopping. And
So, yeah, so we have exciting experiences, exciting places to shop and things like that. But one thing that's also important is the people, the hospitality. What would you say South Africans are like? Are they friendly, hospitable people?
I can 100% testify that South Africans are very friendly. I travel to South Africa more than any other destination in the world, at least sometimes an average of 3 times a year, you know. And I have lots of friends from South Africa. So you get to meet and you find out that they're really, really lovely people, very welcoming.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tekiso Rakolojani.
Thank you.
I got that right.
Yeah,
Yay!
Because I've been practicing in your mind.
Yes, I've been practicing in my mind. Yes, and thank you so much to Mr. Ifetobo. Good to have you here on the show again. I'm sure you've done a good job of selling the opportunities that South Africa has for Nigerians who are looking to relax, or for those of you that want to adventure. That's all we can take on this segment. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll be speaking with the people from Great Place to Work. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us on the show is the Senior Sales and Training Consultant, Great Place to Work. And her name is Bola Akintojoye.
Akintojoye.
Yes, awesome. You're an HR consultant. And I also have Bukola right here in the studio with us. And both of you will be shedding light on what this entire initiative is about.
Okay, so thank you for having us. So Great Place to Work really is a global consulting firm. We have about 30 years plus in terms of research. And the whole idea really is about making organizations great places to work, one organization at a time. Okay. And you'd ask me why, really. We find out that there's this research and statistics that says that the average person spends about 90,000 hours, you know, in the lifetime at work. And so what happens is there's a tendency for whatever happens to your work to affect your lifetime. So we are about making organizations great places to work. We have, and it's just not saying we want it to be a great place to work. We have some tools and assessment tools that help us to do this. And it's based on what we call the 5 dimensions. I don't want to bore you with that, but it's really very exciting things. We call them pride, camaraderie, credibility, respect, and fairness. And all of that, when we drill down, really helps organizations to become great places to work. And when people are happy at work, they dovetails into their family, their other aspects of their life. So we have an audacious mission to make the world a very happy place.
So how long have you been at this? Have you started? Are you about to start, or you've been doing this for a very long time?
Okay, so it's a 30-year-old organization, but in Nigeria, about 7 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And basically, when your organization is tagged as the best place to work, you end up attracting great talents. If they see you out there as, okay, top 10 companies, you're a good place to work, you attract very good talents which come to your organization. So basically, that's part of it.
So does that mean that you have to select the organizations, and what criteria do you use to select your organizations? You're saying one organization at a time. So how do you go about the selection?
Okay, so maybe that's just a speak. So we can get like 50 organizations at a time. But the whole idea is we just
to make them the great place to work.
Make them the great place to work.
If you have any upcoming event or something that you do regularly, or that you have in works now too.
Okay. So really, we are into. I can say we summarize ourselves into insight, continuous improvement, and what we call celebration. And right now, we're going to have what we call our annual award ceremony. It's
pretty much celebration.
Yeah. So it's celebrating great workplaces, and for the first time, the maiden edition of what we call the Women Leaders Award.
Again.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Bukola, but I'd like to hear from Bola concerning, you know, I saw women leaders, and I'm wondering why Women Leaders Award. Like, I'm a woman, I want us to be celebrated, but like, why are you highlighting the
Why
women?
gender specific?
Yeah, it's. I think it's time to start like recognizing women in workplaces. I think basically women are now growing. They are now having a voice. They are now making an impact in organizations. So now women can sit at the table and make decisions as well. So it's time to recognize them as part of your organization, and they're doing great things at your organization, basically.
How quick are the corporations that you partner with to jump on this gender-specific kind of recognition?
They are really excited about it. In fact, we have people saying, we've closed out the portal, and please, we really need to recognize our guys, because everybody, I mean, we initially were worried about this, but we are amazed at the reception and the acceptance of this. So it's something that we're excited about. And yeah.
So what's the criteria, you know, in nominating these women?
Okay, so we have two categories of women that we're actually awarding. The first one is the companies, the organizations themselves nominate the leaders that have been found worthy based on our 5 criteria that we used and all of that, leadership, mentorship, community, and all of that. And then we have the honorary awards. This is for women who are like captains of industries, who we have seen that over time, their voices and all of that, yes. So those are the things that we're doing.
How can more women become women leaders?
Basically, having having that mindset of you can achieve something. There are a lot of creative women out there. There are a lot of innovative thinking women out there. So when you put all of this together, then you become a good leader. Being a leader in your organization and also being able to mentor other females, taking them along, not just you being in the limelight, but just taking other women along and then making them understand that, look, whatever you set out to do, you can actually achieve it.
Does your team have a metrics to evaluate how women are empowering others? Because I've been in that place of shouting over and over again, like collaborate, pull somebody up, help somebody out, supporting one another. And I like the fact that you said that that's part of why you're highlighting women, because you feel that generally women tend to do this by default. But is there any metric? Is there any way you would be able to measure that person, that woman that has really, really supported, mentored others? What are you using?
Okay, so like I said, we are an HR consulting firm, so we go into organizations, we have surveys that we actually put out there. So this is based on people's surveys, people's opinions and all of that. Then we also have what we call the focus group sessions. So when we have this focus group session, you ask questions and all of that. So it gives us even more insight. Remember I said we're about insight, continuous improvement, and of course celebration, because we believe that when you begin to celebrate people, it challenges and inspires people to actually do more.
Okay, I guess that now answers the question I was going to ask, that apart from just now giving you an award, what exactly were you hoping to, you know, get?
I thought you were going to add
from this?
what do you call them? The
What else? What else? Is it just
a hair?
Money,
Nima. Or something, what's the reward?
Okay, so of course the plaque is, no, the plaque is, and because you remember this is our maiden edition, so the plaque is the first thing. But you know, apart from that, it helps you, it gives you, a bragging right. You know, you have that on your Instagram page, woman leader, and then of course,
I was recognized.
And you know how it is, people just spin it off from there, and then they become women speakers and all these kind of things, and you know, and you get international recognition and all of that. So I think it's a very important thing.
Well, are you going to add something?
Yes, and then when you're recognized as a woman and as a woman leader, there's this thing about it where you want to shine, like you want to be out there.
Get more confident.
You get very confident, and you can just mentor other people, and look, if I can do it, you can also do it.
So registration for this particular award has closed, because I heard you say that. So, but what's the end? When are we going to finally unveil these women that get to be?
When is it happening?
When is it happening?
So next week Friday.
Next week Friday.
June 28th.
Yeah, 28th of June.
A lot of things are happening next week Friday.
At the
landmark.
Oh, that's cool. Is it? But it's strictly by invitation.
Yes,
okay,
it is.
we'd love to celebrate the women that win these awards. We'd like to maybe see 1 or 2 of them that we can bring on the show for women we love, because we try to do that once in a month. We profile women that we love. So thank you, Bukola Iwedairo, right? And thank you so much, Bola, for joining us on the show. I really appreciate what you are doing. And with that, we round off this segment, and then we move into something, something that has been trending, juicy, that I'm sure you would want to all call in and comment on. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So this is very juicy story that went online, viral totally, about a lady who, having sacrificed herself, a career, and practically gave up her life for over a decade for this man, now found out that her mom was sick. Her mom was needing a surgery that would cost about 25,000 Ghanaian cedis.
Her mother-in-law was sick.
Her mother. So her mother-in-law died, and her husband now said that the money I have, I would rather spend that money on my mother's burial instead of trying to save the person alive. The husband wanted to spend the money he had on doing a befitting burial for
his mother.
While his mother-in-law was sick. So 2 weeks after, the mother-in-law died. And in the waiting period before the mother-in-law died, she had to go and meet her ex-boyfriend before she got married and asked the man to help her with the money she needed for this surgery.
As a loan.
As a loan. The man said that, I'm not giving you a loan. What I want from you is the other room. If you do the other room, I'll give you the money to take care of your mother. And because she knew that she had no other option, her husband had abandoned her at that point. This is a husband that she had sacrificed everything for the marriage. Now told her that he will spend the money he has on burial rather than taking care of her mom. At that point, she agreed to do the do with her ex. But she was on her period. And the man insisted that even despite her being on the period, they would go ahead. So she said that 2 weeks after her mom died, and every time she has a period, she just remembers the agony she went through, having to sell herself and her body to get money for her mother's treatment. Another side of the story now says that she later found out that the husband, within that same period, rented an apartment for his girlfriend. All of this happening when she was hustling for money. So the woman decided to take law into her hand and created a scheme of revenge, taking her period, her menses, and cooking with it, and gave the man to eat.
And gives him regularly.
She said she gives it to him regularly, and every time the man is eating a food that was cooked with her menses, she feels a sense of satisfaction that at least I am doing something back to you. Because one thing is, for her, every time she has a period, she remembers the sacrifice she had to make. Now, everybody here is looking, ew. But this is the girl's story. Her story is that I had to do revenge. And some people agree with it, some don't agree with it. You can join the conversation and tell us your own opinion of how you will behave if you find out that your husband that you sacrificed 10 years for, instead of paying for your mom's treatment, decided to use the money to pay for his own mom's burial and then rent an apartment. What will you do? Join the conversation by calling us on 070-8066-8014. Or you could tweet to us at TVC Connect, #YourViewTVC. We would love to hear from you.
Okay, first, I think we need to also put that out there that she said that she just has a BSc, and the plan was, I help my husband get his own certificates, and after that, I will now go for further education, and it never happened. So that's one of the sacrifices that she was talking about. Yeah.
So for me, this marriage of a thing, is full of sacrifices. We just have to prepare our minds. Somebody was saying something on my wedding day, and I still remember. It says, the woman preacher who preached on my wedding was telling my husband that this you are picking today as your wife to stay and to stay forever. Whatever you see, you have chosen. Nobody chose for you. That marriage is more like a gift is when you get home, you see what you have been given, is what your rib has produced. So you have to find a way to work it. Now, marriage is full of compromise, sacrifices, and unfortunately, some people are selfish. I will call that man very, very selfish. He put himself, yes, he put himself first before his wife. He did not see his wife as a part of himself. That is his own fault. But for you to now want to do your own revenge and use Menzies to cook. Auntie, if you are tired of that marriage, pack your things and leave.
So how do you feel the man should pay? Like, she's lost her mother. So she's lost her mother and she had to pay with her body to even get the money. So if she walks out of the marriage, she'll just feel like, I've just been used. I just wasted 10 years of my life. What did I get from this?
Okay, so for me, I want you to quickly answer, please, Miriam. 10 years down the line, she will look back at what she's doing today and she will get into depression.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so for me, this is just a simple case of when the law doesn't step in. I mean, if you're in America or, you know, the other decent societies that we talk about, when a woman is unhappy or a man is unhappy with the marriage, they have different ways that they can dissolve it. And when it's dissolved, you're able to go home with either half or something, so you're not completely losing. So, but when you are in a society that does not recognize that when a woman leaves the home, she has to live with something.
Or recognize the contributions you're making.
So women, look at Bezos, Jeff Bezos, that gave his ex-wife almost half his billions. She's a billionaire by divorce. The thing is, knowing that she would not be bothering herself putting all sorts of concoctions in his food because she knows what it would, what she would get. So for me, I don't think this is revenge. I don't think it means anything because he's eating, he's still healthy. I just don't know.
It's eating blood.
So
blood.
See, they do other things even more intimate than that. So for me, that is not anything. She's not doing anything. What she needs to do, really, because this story is really sad, and obviously the man has no love for her, doesn't care about her. So she needs to find out how to sit down and meet a proper divorce lawyer and find out how she can get some peace and leave. That's the way I see it, because what she's doing is nothing.
She has to leave. Do you think it was right for her to carry out
I think it was right. She's plain stupid. She's a stupid woman. Number one, she's stupid in not saving for herself and giving up everything for a man. What if he had died? Just what if? It's not about him not giving you back, but life can happen. He can actually die.
A woman should have a life.
So set aside something for not be rainy days, stormy days. So her mom being sick, where I am raised, and I don't want to do Islam, so they don't say it's a religious woman. You don't use the process of such things for any good cause. It will bring the ill luck into it. If her mom was even going to survive, the process of a prostitution would not allow it. That's how I was raised. That one is separate. Now, if something like this happens in a marriage where you think you've given everything, there's another chance, another opportunity. You've now seen the man that you're married to as the beast that he is. It is strategy. Cooking for him and all these things. You're not saving up. You're not even, in this whole story, I read it over and over, and I still do not see where she has a plan B. She's still a stupid woman. No
Revenge.
Plan. Revenge, yes. I don't blame her. She can actually have a revenge and say, okay, now let me see our joint account. How can I take the major part? Let me see our this. Let me see how our business. How can I get majority?
But let me bring you. Let me take it away from the revenge part, because we all agree that you shouldn't carry out such an act, especially since you are still going to keep living with that person. Like, I don't get it.
You're not living.
But the beginning of the story is a reality many women make. The reality of, should you sacrifice your life for marriage? We've had people on this, we've discussed it a bit, and somebody will call me and said, oh, my wife gave up everything and then she got a job and all of that. But when things like this happen, the woman is now feeling like, all for nothing. What have I done? What have I gotten? And I think that's the lesson we should learn from this, that you cannot pause your life because you are now married. It's not...
Even if you must see, this is the problem. She could actually have made that sacrifice for family. So maybe like a first child who has to step aside and raise a younger one, and the person never remembered. People make sacrifices for friends. She could have made it for her children. She's saying that if it's someone else, she would think of another way. She would actually go out and poison the person. So what's the cost of the life as against what you've lost? So you have to be calculative in revenge. It is to get back on your feet in a way that that person would think, if I had known, I'd have maintained this friendship.
Revenge body. Ekele, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
About the lady, about the lady. I won't say anything, but the man, in his own situation, everything he did was bad.
Thank you.
But for the woman cooking with her menstrual, that's absurd.
He's listening on his television. So Ekene was saying something. Those days, women that I knew, whose husbands totally abandoned them, I'm talking about military wives, who were second fiddle, as in, they would say, the prostitutes is in the house, go and cook for us to eat. Those kind of women got back on their feet. They were not educated women, the kind of women I grew up seeing. Got back on their feet, got a life, raised their children, built a house that in the old age of that man, he was knocking at the door, begging to come
stay
in,
there,
to stay there because he was homeless.
That is smarter revenge.
That is smarter revenge. I don't understand revenge of cook with, if you like cook with rats, whatever. I really don't know.
I want us to even take it away from revenge. There's the scripture says for a reason that revenge is for the Lord. So it's not your place to revenge. So if people keep hurting you, how many people do you want to start planning to do this to? But what I would have expected her to do was to find a way to, separate herself emotionally. I was listening to one of my author friends, and he was saying that you can't be in marriage, be in love, but not emotionally attached. In the sense that you're logical in your thinking. As a woman, in marriage, you should be logical in your thinking. I have never subscribed to suspending my life to grow you, because I've seen how it works out. It never ends well. So I think women should begin to start preparing themselves, that in as much as I'm giving you, I'm still using my head to know that I can't pause all my life for you.
That is very important. We have a phone call. Good morning, welcome to the show, Yakub.
We lost him.
We lost it. We lost the
call.
call.
So sorry. So sorry.
Can we take
my own, I want to say that we understand what it means to be betrayed in this way. I mean, it hurts. You were talking about military wives, and I remember there used to be a trend then when we had military governors, that the one that the starter wife, the one that you went through the barracks with, then by some providence you become governor, then they get the new wife who can speak English, who can read, to become the first lady of the state. I mean, we used to hear those sort of stories, and that can hurt. I know that, and it must be tough to go back, and want to revenge the way that you are now able to take care of yourself and your family. But I think we need to start talking about prenup agreements in Nigeria. We need to, because everybody will say to you, oh, think logically. The thing is, when most people get into marriages, we're doing this together, we're a team, we love each other, and I want to do this to help you so that we can help me. But in the case that this has now become a trend, where you're betrayed somewhat, we need to start looking at how we can sort of protect ourselves. And I'm not just talking of the woman, the man as well. Protect ourselves so that when something like this happens, somehow you have something left for you.
It's just such a very wicked story on both sides. Actually, wickedness on both the man and the woman. And
I think wickedness on his side, foolishness on her side.
At the end of the day, we only say this story so that based on their experiences, you will learn, and that will not be your own story. So I think, yes, our own caution. We'll take tweets when we come back. Stay with us. We'll take a short break. When we come back, our celebrity guest will be joining us. And then before the conversation, we'll take a few tweets from this segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. She's a Nigerian lawyer and businesswoman, and one of the leading figures in Nigerian entertainment today.
Yep.
She's also the founder of Terra Culture. I know once I said that, you know who it is. Yeah. Welcome with us, Bolanle, Austen-Peters. Bab Production, good to have you again.
Thank you.
On the show.
Thank you.
Please join the conversation by calling us on 070-8066-8014. And you could tweet to us at TVC Connect, please hashtag YourViewTVC. So you've heard what we said, and I know that you have one-liner. I've crowned you the queen of one-liner. As in, she just drop it and just keep quiet.
Like it's hot.
What do you think?
What do you think of this is our conversation?
Oh, the lady. She's dumb. No, really. What does she gain by doing that? She debases herself, and she's getting nothing in return.
Exactly.
So either it's either of two things. You go the full length, the whole hog, you kill him,
or
Or you stay with them.
you know, if you're
Or you
going to be
move
that
on.
brutal, or you
you
move
move
on.
on.
She's debasing herself by doing such. It's disgusting.
Yes, it is.
Even the
Totally
thought
agree.
of it. So
Totally agree.
I just don't understand it.
But you know why we brought you on the show today? You set Lagos on fire. Everybody was blinging and blinging all through last weekend. And because you launched this movie that is about to hit the cinemas next week, right? And it was the talk of town. So why did you come up with the concept of the costumes? What was it? Was it your
Theme
idea?
of
The
the
theme?
premiere.
Was it? How did you come up with the theme for the launch?
Okay.
Was it launch or
Premiere.
The premiere. So we're in partnership with Film House and Film One, and they have a bunch of really smart young people and my team, Terra Culture. So they had this long debate about, you know, what do we do to make it really glam? And really, so I can't
Take the credit.
No, I can't take ownership of that. No, my team put it all together with Film One, and it worked. With EcoBank also stepping in with that prized gift. That was it. That was it.
So you don't like to, I think you're a modest person, you don't like to shout your shouts. So directing Fela and the Kalakuta Queens to Saro and Saro the musical, and directing this one that everybody's rushing, waiting for tickets to start to sell in the cinemas, and you don't want to take credit for it.
No, you know, in life, honestly, there's always a driver. But in getting to any destination, you need people. It's not a one-man job. So I have the vision, but there are foot soldiers who implement it. And these people are the people that have made it work. So it wasn't about me.
I'd like to work for you.
How was it working with that team for this production we're expecting to see next week in the cinemas? Because looking at the preview, it's been on air for a long time now, and we see the fantastic acts. I'm like, okay, this one is there, this one, okay, I have an idea of how crazy it's going to be. How was it like putting them together and working with them?
So for us, because we do stage, casting for me is the most critical part of any production. And I think that's where we lose it a lot in a lot of the productions that you see. I cast based on meritocracy. You're good, that's it. I don't care about your fame. You can be the most famous person. If you're not able to deliver the goods or you're not fit for the purpose that I'm looking for, I will never use you. And that's probably why most of our productions are sort of like top-notch.
You've made stage glamorous, you know, because usually when artists, when they're stage actors, you just see them like they're, even though they are the most experienced, but they just seem like at the bottom of the entertainment industry. They don't get a lot of work, they don't get paid a lot. But when you put out productions, I see people putting them on Instagram and, you know, excited about it. What are you doing differently from other production companies?
So what we did was we've changed the face of entertainment in terms of theatre. What I realized, number one, is people like beautiful things. Let's not be fooled. So what happened in the past with theatre was you come into theatre thinking you're going to see rags. So the first thing I did was change the look and feel. So what you've done now is we've brought up the standards. You know, when you watch stage plays abroad and musicals, you go there for the spectacle. And I keep telling people that show business is spectacle. So if it's the showmanship involved. So if you're doing show and you come out not being glamorous or beautiful, you've already killed half of the expectation of people. Because people want to be taken out of their drudgery, their daily life experiences. So you want to come to a theater and say, oh my goodness, wow. But then you come and you're like, oh my goodness, I want to leave.
I have a question, but let me take this call first. Elijah called in from Agbado. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome. Whoa. Good to have you.
Yeah, I just want to contribute to the issue of that lady that you are talking about.
Yeah, I know.
Me, I'm living in Ghana. I just came back from Ghana to Nigeria. I'm based in Ghana. But what happened is that that issue is from Ghana.
Yes,
they love burial more than anything. They cherish burial. They can even rent a corpse and go and do burial for it.
Just for the party?
They used to make money. That's their own character. So I didn't blame the woman what they did.
Please, are you
Really?
saying this? Are you
Yes,
saying this from
Ghana.
Nigeria or from Ghana?
No,
Are you
he's in Nigeria right now.
Okay.
He's in Nigeria. Just came back
I'm
from
right
Ghana.
now in Nigeria, but I'm based in Ghana.
Thank you, Elijah, for that perspective. We didn't know that was ongoing. But back
That's
to
important.
bearers are very important.
That's Ghana.
Thank you. So, being a producer, I've watched interviews of Hollywood producers that have been like the man that produced the Rocky series that put his money behind Sylvester Stallone. And I watched his interview. He's much older now. Spoke about how the production company said they were not the real, what do you call them, the big brand said they were not going to put their money into it, and he was willing to put his money into the movie. And I look at what we see now, a group of celebrities that are consistently circling most of the movies, cinemas. We're not seeing people that go out of their way to pick young talents.
Seeing new, fresh faces.
We're not seeing new, fresh faces that are devoid of fame already, but can deliver.
Yes.
So I'm asking you, and I know that you've done some through theatre, but what are the changes you expect to see in our cinema that will make people feel like, oh, I don't need to see a celebrity to know that the movie will be good.
Yeah.
I need to see the producer of the movie to be
Director.
sure, the director to be sure the movie will be good. How do we get to that stage?
So the first thing, if you know our antecedents at Terra Culture, what we do is we produce stars. 90% of those you see in movies today that are movie stars came through us from stage. So what we've done is, I don't believe one individual sells my product. And I've told those on my set and even the actors that I don't need you to push my product. My name should stand for excellence. So if people see my product, they want to watch it because it's a Bolanle Austen-Peters production, not because you are in my production. So I think some of them have it skewed because they're used to being the ones pushing whatever material, whether good or bad. But in our case, what I want to stand for is the brand stands alone. So if you're part of us, it's actually a privilege for you to be part of us.
Wow.
And that is the way we're changing the conversation.
Would you say
But I am confident because I know what we're producing.
Would you say that you're easy to work with? I mean, listening to you now, you seem very tough.
No, I'm very, very easy. Everybody knows that, actually.
Just know
On
your
the
stuff.
contrary.
I was saying that yesterday on Wake Up Nigeria, and I was saying to her, this tough woman, very easy. She said, no, she's one of the best. That's
I'm
why
very easygoing, but I know what I want. And if you're not giving it to me, I'll find a way around you. I will not even confront you. I'm 50. I'm not going to let anybody give me stress. And I'm not going to let anybody give me high blood pressure. So once you cannot deliver, I find a way around you. In theatre, they know that what happens the next day you come, you won't have your role anymore. It's very simple. No, we just
Yeah,
we
because there's
delete
always a
you.
backup actor.
There's always, we always have. Always. And also, there's no point confronting people because we've done that in the past with young people. And some of them are extremely vindictive. So when you take somebody out and, you confront them and say, and then, the next they start, social media, everybody's a journalist now. So, they just go and start writing nonsense. So you avoid all that.
Yeah, very true. We have a call. Do we still have the call? Oh, I think
You lost it.
I think we lost it.
So I wanted to talk about auditions. I've tried a couple of auditions and I felt terrible how actors were being treated. You see the crowd, there are no seats for them. We stand under the sun, we stand under the rain. People faint in the midst of auditions. The last one I went for, I was like, Jesus.
What an embarrassment.
It was embarrassing because immediately I got in, some people who know me from TV were like, are you Obiajulu? Are you Obiajulu? I'm like, okay, all right. And then we had to go through, even before I got in, it was terrible. Oh, wow. Now, I don't know how you do your auditions for...
Then we can make it more humane for the actors.
Yes, for the actors.
But let me take this call before you answer. Are you still there? Welcome to the show. Good morning. I think it's Bolaji.
Hello, Tokwe.
Good to have you.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Yay!
Yeah, I just want to make a contribution on the woman that she felt very, very disturbed, and she had a revenge. My point is just that, yes, women must value themselves, but I didn't agree with Alaja this morning at all. I've always been a fan, but this morning,
Thank you.
I'm not agreeing with her. Just because women, when we do things for our husband, we should just do it
for God
and let God reward us. Just take for instance, if you're a single mother and you've done all you have to do for a child, and he didn't just do well. Will you, because of that, kill that child?
So I think we're on the same page. Yeah,
No, you won't.
Yeah.
Women should learn to do things either for their husband, for their children, for family members, and just take their face off it. If it comes back to them as a reward,
Fine.
a good one or a bad one, God be praised. With that, we all live a happy life.
Yes.
Yeah.
If things come to you back,
Thank you, Bolaji. Thank you so much. That's nice. So I wanted to answer how we can make auditions more humane, like
For actors.
It's difficult for a lot of producers because, number one, they don't have the facility. So when you do a call out for auditions, you don't know how many people will turn up. So in my case, at times we get 500, at times we get 700. So what we have to do is auditions for me are probably one of the toughest because you're forced to sit there and see talent and talentless. So you just sit there and you have to, you know what I mean? So it's difficult for us as well. Now we're fortunate, slightly fortunate because we have premises. So we kind of put out a canopy. We tell them to give people lunch. Not everybody can afford that. So I really don't know. There might not be.
Okay, is that quickly, just in addition, is there a way, like, there are some auditions that you have a character Bible being written on the website, so you check for the role that you fit in. If you don't fit in, you're not even going for, you may not even know the day of the audition. You can submit that. Is there a way you guys can just add that to what you're doing? It's difficult,
honestly. So when we did Mermaid the musical, for instance, you wouldn't have known. There were some people that we chose that, there's a guy who was one of the soldiers. He was phenomenal. We would never have been able to cast him if he hadn't come for auditions on that day, you know. So it's a tough balance. It's like Shaggy, his brother Shaggy, he said he had been to about 3 of our auditions at Terra Culture. I didn't spot him. You know, so,
and he's so talented.
He's super talented.
Can
so,
you imagine?
You know, the thing is, it's hit and miss at times.
Okay, we'll take a quick break right now. When we return, we'll talk more on how Bolanle Austen-Peters is changing the face of movies in Nigeria. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we have the greatest, the theatre queen, the hottest, the sexiest. Bolanle Austen-Peters is with us in the studio, and this is her debut as a director in a movie.
Not
wow! I'm telling you, and so the reviews have been fantastic.
Let me ask this question that's been bothering me. There's, you know, of course, flashy people make movies flashy by getting all the superstars, and yours is very loaded with, you know, even the superstars on social media. Everybody's in this movie. Is it the same
noise
that
By nature, I'm not noisy. We just deliver.
Action.
We deliver the
one line. We don't make noise.
When you go, I don't. It's not nice that I talk about myself. Let others talk about us. So what you need to do is go online and find the reviews by independent people. Then you will know that it's not Bolanle that said it.
I like that you said that because I struggle with that as well. I see that, you know, you don't have to be the one to blow the trumpet.
Sometimes you
but I
your
hear
head,
people tell me that you have to, or else no one would do it. But to see that you're successful being that way, I mean, it gives me hope. But also, could you say that has been why you have your longevity? I mean, a lot of women entrepreneurs across all industries, they start off, they seem promising, but something happens, or probably usually there's a husband in a political appointment, he loses that, and then the wife disappears as well, you know? So things like that. How have you been able to just be relevant till today?
It's passion, and then also not ego. When you're driven by ego, you'll fall along the wayside eventually because you're not driven by passion. You're doing it because you want to be known, you want to be seen. Most of you, I probably never met me till today. There's no point. Your work should speak for you, not you selling yourself every day in front of a newspaper magazine. Oh, this is what I want to be. I want everybody to see me. Why are they seeing you when you don't have anything to contribute? Contribute something valuable. Let the actors, the cast, the crew be the ones talking about you, and the critics. Not you telling people that, oh, this is who I am or what I'm able to achieve. Prior to people seeing the movie, they had low expectations because of the antecedents of what has been going on in the industry. So they were like, oh, no, oh, God, another one. Oh, God. You know, rich people make, oh, God. Then they got there. I mean, it was always the opposite, that we never saw this coming. And for me, that's the greater testament.
So what advice would you give to actors who are, for some people,
I want
they
to
just
ask a personal question.
For some people, they want to be there because they just want to show their face on TV. For others, it's because they really want to do it. What advice would you give to them? How do they give value? How would they take care of themselves, get knowledge? How should they go about it?
What should they do to improve themselves?
Everything's about personal, goals. Some people, it's about the fluff. Substance always stands the test of time. So it depends on what you're trying to project. Some people just want to be, they'll be there, but they'll be there for a short time. Just project yourself, it's okay. But when you're there for substance, you'll be there forever, because it's about content that you're producing.
Anything new? We've had you on the show before, so we understand the personal life, you try to keep it up, but is there anything new? We know when a woman is in love, there's a glow, and I'm seeing plenty glowing around you.
I'm in love, okay. I'm in love. I've been married for about 23 years. So maybe I'm in love again.
Happening, like, how do you're 50, you don't look it. You are married for 23 years, you just look like you're about, as you walk down, everybody just say, is she available? Can I just grab her?
Someone is saying that already on Twitter. Are you in London?
Oh gosh, I'm in Nigeria. No, not at all. I think first I was ill, so I lost a lot of weight. And then second is that because I love what I do and I'm surrounded by young people, it always rubs off. So I'm not stuffy, I'm not stiff, I'm not, you know how we get cranky when we get older. Don't talk to me like that. For me, they talk to me anyhow. It's okay. It's okay. You tend to relax and realize that life isn't that difficult.
It's really around you. Yes. Taking life easy. I think that's one thing we can take away to the weekend.
Yes.
That everybody should just, life is easy. Life is easy. Anybody that is stressing you, just remove the person or remove yourself. It's not that deep. As you can see the way she's talking. Do you want to look like this when you are 50? I'm sure. So please, enjoy your weekend. Take life easy. We'll see you all next week.
Yes.
Bye.
See you at the cinema.
See you at the cinema.
June 28th. June 28th.